Okay, so today we want to make sure we distinguish between a ratio and a rate. So our first assignment, we talked a lot about ratios and how ratios compare two numbers. All right, ratios compare two numbers. We talked a lot about that the first homework assignment. So tonight, though, we want to look at a special ratio that we call rate. All right, and it's a rate if it compares a single unit. All right, so in other words, what's one unit? Okay, anytime we are comparing to one unit, then we refer to that as a rate. All right, so for example, okay, our first example here, 12 pack of Dr. Pepper costs $4.50. What's the cost per can? All right, this is a unit rate problem because it just wants to know what's one can. All right, so again, our ratio, remember our little word per, okay, that gives us our fraction bar. So before the word per, that value would go in our numerator. After the fraction bar, after the word per, okay, so we would be setting this problem up as money over cans. Okay, if you don't like that division sign, remember we can use this division sign as well. All right, money is in front, cans is after. So regardless of which division sign you choose to use, they're both going to end up taking you to the same spot as long as you use division. Again, this is the preferred version because we are dealing with ratios. This already gets it in a ratio form. This one does not. So this might be the way that you want to go here. So if we want to figure out the cost per can, now that we know what our setup's going to be, money on top, so we can pull out our $4.50. Cans, we have to look back through. It is a 12 pack, so 12 would go on the bottom. So now we just simply need to do 450 divided by 12. I do not have a calculator handy, so I will do long division. So we get 0.375 for one can, because again, that's what they want to know. What's the cost for one can? Now, obviously, then we are talking money, so we do need to adjust here because when we deal with money, we're only allowed to go to 2 decimal places. So we would round, the 5 would tell us we need to round this up. So one can is 38 cents per can. Okay, 38 cents per can. So that's one kind of a rate that we would see. Some other kind of rates that we might see is we might have something along the lines of you can walk 3/4 of a mile in 1/2 hour. All right, you can walk 3/4 of a mile in half an hour. All right. Determine the rate in miles per hour. Okay. So we can walk 3/4 of a mile in half an hour, determine the rate in miles per hour. So again, right here's your setup. Miles over hours. Okay, that word's important. It can get you in the right place. So we're going to put miles over hours. So once we get the setup, now all we got to do is plug in. This is our 3/4, 1/2. All right. Again, this is a complex fraction. When we have a fraction over another fraction, this is just a complex fraction. And again, 3/4 divided by 1/2. So 3/4 divided by 1/2. 3/4 times 2/1. 6/4. 1. 4 goes into 6 one time. And we have 2 left over. So our speed is 1.5 miles, 1.5 miles per hour. That would be our rate. Okay, you can write that way. We could also put 1.5 over 1 miles hour. Miles per hour. Miles per hour. Both of these represent the exact same thing. Okay, but we can't be afraid. We're going to see some of these complex fractions tonight, so you can't worry about those too much. Remember, it just means divide. Also, I stress to you, 7th graders, we do not get scientific calculators later on. So this little technique right here. We need to be able to divide fractions without that scientific calculator. So try to do that if you can. Otherwise, bring all your questions into class tomorrow. Have a good night.